Man, Cowboy Christmas, Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation show going on upstairs. We've got an incredible group for you here today. It'd be hard to beat 26-time world champion Trevor Brazile. Say hello.
Hello, thank you guys for coming out. It's always good to be here. Never know what kind of questions I'm gonna get out of this guy, but it'll be fun either way.
We'll get by. We have the owner of Outlaw Conversions and Emerald Coach Buses, man, the myth, the legend, John Walker.
I don't know about that. Thank y'all for having me here. I appreciate it.
And then the president of Cimarron Trailers, Ben Jansen, good friend, been at it for a while, and Ben and I got to do this the other day, so he's prepped and ready for my dumb questions. Yeah.
It'll be fun. Glad to be here.
Yeah, we're glad you're here. So today we just want to talk about, you've been an incredible partner, recently signed with Cimarron, been an Outlaw man and an NTS man for a long time, and I just want to talk about how life's transitions, things have happened. I kind of know you okay pretty well, and your schedule doesn't feel any less busy today. We just go to different stuff.
Yeah, no, retirement looks a lot different than I thought it was. There's less umbrella drinks, and it just seems like we're still grinding, but I wouldn't have it any other way. It's been fun, and the opportunities that have been opened in the road course industry, it's been truly groundbreaking, and I keep thinking we're going to see the ceiling, and I see things coming down the pipe where we're going to have a horse win over $1 million just in 1 year now, and that was unthinkable in a career before this year. It's just exciting time.
Yeah, who knew retirement post-rodeo we could make as much money in the horse industry as we did probably almost the whole time we were rodeoing trying to get there.
Well, that's been the greatest thing about it is I get to still do what I love. You know, I said being a cowboy, I'm on a horse every day. I get to rope. I love it. I'm around a lot of the same people that I thought I was going to have to, separate from or miss. And I still get to see people in some of those circles, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's what I love about everybody. Everybody on this stage is tied to this life. John was raised in it. Family owns a big ranch in Texas, and then Ben drove to high school rodeo, to college rodeo, and we all have great friends. We all did. And that's what when I was growing up, you were my hero. And the thing about it was, I knew that if you ever retired, like I was liable to, in Crum, Texas, find you at $100 pasture roping, riding your best horse, chasing one down, as I was, $50,000 added jackpot. Like we were liable to roll up on Trevor anywhere, and you love the way of life. And that's what we all have. And you said something there a while ago, Trevor, that I want to speak to with John and Ben. We keep thinking there's going to be a ceiling in the trailer industry. Like, we keep thinking we can't make them any bigger. What other innovations can we do? And you've been a large part of that, listening to feedback from guys like you that live in them and go. John, Ben, y'all want to speak to, man, who knew we would have a 53-foot double bedroom upstairs, painted loft? When we started the trailer business, we thought a 15-footer was big.
Yeah, for sure. I guess we never thought we'd see the pricing that we sell them for today and the size of the trailers. But I think for Outlaw Conversions, Trevor made a huge difference in our company on the way he used them, how much he used them. And Trevor would call in and have an issue. He already knew the answer to the problem. He just made us make sure we were fixing it right. But I think him being our trailers made our brand stronger and better. We've been doing it a long time together, and I think over the years I didn't think the trailers get to the level that they are today. And it seems like they're even more and more. They'll be bigger and bigger, and I think there'll be more stuff on them as we go.
For sure, and that's the thing is when you talk about a guy like Trevor being in one, the standard of excellence in interiors. I was talking to a guy in our booth yesterday about watches, and I tell him, he's like, Outlaw, what is that? I said, it's the measure with which every other interior company says they're almost as good as an Outlaw, or they're as good as an Outlaw. Outlaw, you set the standard from the beginning, and it still is that way today because you listen to feedback. Like if you look in all of my trailers up there, as big as they are, you still make the most of every nook, cranny, everything you can over the years, and that's, I think, what sets you apart, as well as the craftsmanship and the desire to listen to that feedback and get that.
Yeah, I think so. I think when we started, we started it'll be our 30th year this year, building living quarters, our 28th year to come to the National Finals Rodeo, and I think we had to spend time with people like Trevor, guys like that, because they use them to a different level. I think when we started, people weren't that serious about the living quarters. It was kind of a weird business, I guess. But the way they used them, as much time as they spend in them, especially with their families and children, it really changed the whole dynamic. And now they're serious about it. They know what they're buying. They've all owned one now, so we have to do a much better job.
And I tell you what's changed for me over the years. When you would go somewhere, you may have a living quarters. If you had an opportunity to stay at a hotel or something like that, you might try it out or whatever. There is no way you'll get me out of my Outlaw conversion now. Like, I appreciate you offering the bedroom, whatever it is, but I'm at home, in my Outlaw conversion right now, and that's because of the years of service that they've provided that have just made a perfect trailer, and that's what's so fun for me, because it worries me a little bit for first-time buyers that roll through here and think all living quarters and trailers are equal. That's a hard lesson to learn. And take it from me, for how many miles and years that I've been up and down the road, a lot of stuff looks great and it might look comparable, but when you're living in them day in, day out, and when you know that you need to count on those things, even just the little things, they all matter, and that's what I love about Outlaw. The little details always matter.
For sure, and those little details are what got us with Cimarron. When you looked at them and started thinking about making the switch and getting there, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 now you're pulling.
Yes.
So we have 4 there. We're still working on getting a few more coming. But when we met with Ben and went up there too at the factory, Cimarron has made leaps and bounds. They flow manufacturing. They pay more attention to detail than I'm going to say any manufacturer we have that we deal with. Let's talk about what you saw different about Cimarron, and we'll let Ben speak to what he's done over the years.
Well, when I went through the factory, I've been through so many trailer factories, but you talk about employee-owned, you really don't understand what that means until you go through the Cimarron factory. There's a different level. Like, they have ownership. You can tell by the way they do. Each little part of that trailer is done by an owner, not an employee, because it is owned by them. And that's special, because you can tell it when you get the finished product. You can tell that stuff, and they've just been, from the engineering to the innovation, you can't bring something to them that they're like, we haven't tried it yet, but let's do it. That kind of, when you've done stuff as long as I have, that kind of enthusiasm that they still have, and they're willing to evolve and try stuff, that's what drew me to them the most.
Yeah, we were up there at the factory, we were looking at your 8-horse before we put the living quarters in it, and you were like, I think 8 views now, can I take this, we call it a closet tack, broom tack, in that back corner, can I put cubes in there? Like, we drew it up, and then you're like, no, I'm going to put an LQ in it, I need this much room back there. But we have that crawled up still.
Yeah.
Ben still got that for you, because we're liable to put it on the 10-horse.
Never know.
Whatever we have coming. So, Ben, let's talk about that, and what the difference you've seen over the years, and you've been with Cimarron how long?
They're 21 years this spring.
21 years with Cimarron, and longer than that in the trailer business, and so the industry's definitely changed, the size of the trailers, the cost of the trailers, and the innovation in them. And so let's talk about that and what that looks like for you.
You bet. Cimarron, we've kind of got the same mindset as Trevor. How can we be relentless? We want to be better tomorrow than we are today. Keep innovating, keep challenging ourselves, and keep creating things that customers are asking for. So it's part of our culture is how we can always be better. And I've seen the industry change a lot. Been in it about the same time as John. We were comparing notes the other night at dinner. I came to my first national finals in '99 with the manufacturer I was working for. So 26 years in this business, and the average size of the trailers that we're building now is just large. I talk about, we used to build a couple of big show trailers a year, and now we build show trailers every week. It's just people want more space. They're taking their families. They're on the road longer. They're staying at these events longer. They want the space, they want the comforts at home. So we've seen that challenge come back to our engineering department and our production of how do we incorporate everybody's ideas into the trailer and make it safe going down the road, and continue to be innovative and work with great manufacturers like Outlaw to put that interior in there and get families on the road. Impressions.
Yeah, and when we talk about innovation, there's some things we've tried that have been stellar. Some of the options may price themselves out at use or whatever, but that's what I love when you talk about Cimarron and Outlaw. So we brought to the NFR, we always try to build a showcase, do something different. HWH, the hydraulic slide company that goes in every major manufacturer that we have, man, they built a flush forge slide. Cimarron was the only one, and Outlaw was the only one that were willing to go through the process and figure out how to make that work to gain, I think we gained 10 inches on a slide out instead of leaving it above the ground when it slid and dropped. And I know, John, that was a booger that year. We brought that first. It was in trying to figure out how the floor planks needed to line up, and I think we took the floor out of it a couple times to get it in there. But we said yes, and we did something different. Yeah, go ahead.
That's kind of that, you win or you learn, you know. We don't lose, but how do we learn from this to make the next one better? And we're going to win eventually.
Yeah.
Come on, roll.
Yeah, keep rolling, and that's what, Outlaw's approach to that wasn't, well, we got to figure out how to get by. They want it to be right. And that's what I love about both of them is both manufacturers always want to get it right in that. And so as we talk about the progression of your career, you still pull because you have Preston going. We still head to some high school rodeos and go stay a week at a time. So you still have that's a 17.9 Outlaw, 4-horse Cimarron Outlaw integrated pod with the front closet, that new design. That's really cool. And then we actually have a similar design John came up with upstairs that has 2 bathrooms. We extended that closet so it's got a second full bath instead of the closet up there, which is just crazy to think of the stuff that you guys dream up and that we still want to get better at it. But you have that 4-horse 17.9, but then we ordered probably the biggest trailer you've ever had with the smallest LQ. And so what was the thought process behind that? And we changed that last minute a lot. Let's talk about that.
Well, my 8-horse has do you know the dimensions on it?
It's 7.7.
7.7. So I mean, it's small, but there's 3 of us that can sleep in there. And so when we're going to futurities, we might show up with 22 head of horses, 25 head of horses at some. And so it looks a lot different than it did for me when I was rodeoing with 4 horses everywhere we went. But it's nothing. When I come to Cimarron or when I come to Outlaw, they make it work where I'm still comfortable. I still can get all the horses where I need to, and it's been worked out great. And on that 2-horse trailer over there, you can see Josie, Riley, my LQ, my 8-horse with the small LQ. It's all the floor plans that we're using. They're all on that trailer right there, and it's awesome. I just can't say enough. Living quarters are a big investment. I don't care who you are, that's a big investment. And if you take any advice from me, like I've been out here, I've tested stuff, and if you want the biggest bang for your buck, it better be a Cimarron trailer with an Outlaw conversion. It just is. And what was most impressive about that 17.9-foot living quarters that I have, that it was impossible. We talked about Cimarron and Outlaw, but NTS actually had a trailer that any rodeo cowboy, usually we have to order our own, but it has progressed so much, and y'all listen to the cowboys and know the floor plans as much as anybody now. I didn't have to special order anything. It was on NTS's lot, and that to me, I knew things had changed when I could go get a trailer and not wish this, and this was different. That front closet behind the TV is like a house wardrobe closet, and that's a struggle that we've always had in living quarters and trailers, is just closet space, and they thought up a way to do it, and you have more than enough closet and still don't even know that it's there. It's awesome.
Yeah, and that's the thing our owners, my dad's one of the owners, and Dad's always had it. I thought was an advantage was spending the money and buying the inventory and having it sitting there and having it close enough to where if somebody wanted to custom order, yeah, we custom order every day. We'll do that, but man, just having that inventory that we know is good stuff. If a guy like you will pull it, we know it'll sell, and we'll put it on the lot and do that. When we talk 17.9 and 21-foot short walls, 23-foot rear bedrooms, all this stuff. But we built a 7.7 for Trevor, John. And what's different about that?
Everything. It's the smallest, everything's different because it's so small. It's not so small, but it's to make all that work the way they want to use it, the things that they need in it, where you're having to use every inch. A quarter of an inch is a mile in that interior, but it still comfortable enough to get out of the weather, go in there and sleep, take a shower, clean up, get ready for the next show. So but it's neat. You're not pulling a lot of length, and you're not pulling a lot of weight. It's light, so it's nice to pull an 8-horse.
It's crazy because everybody's used to seeing me in the LQ, and so when I come up with the 8-horse with the 7.7, that's the one they want to see, because that's the one I'm coming out of at the futurities and stuff, and I'm like, it's got everything you need right here. They just did a great job designing it.
It throws them off. It's especially Trevor.
Well, nobody thinks about what you can't see, and that's the difference in Cimarron and Outlaw. Outlaw, the way they wire things, the plywood lined walls that they do, that 3/8 lined wall that holds your cabinets together that other guys don't do. You don't see the floor anywhere in the trailer. I mean, just all the stuff you can't see is what that happens. Bend from the roof, from the half-inch thick fiberglass, honeycomb, polypropylene core. I've been saying it for years, to the V-truss flooring in it. Other guys, that stuff people don't see make the difference behind the scenes, but in a 7.7, you still have to have a water tank, you still have to have a furnace, you still got to have your water heater and everything that fits in a bigger one. It's probably easier to build in a 10-footer plus to get all that in there.
You talked about the roof on the Cimarron. You said it really fast and really high tech. But what that means for me is I don't know how many times I'm from North Texas, and so we get hailstorms. And tell them the benefit to that roof.
Tell us,
that roof being a half-inch thick and insulated, mild hailstorms does not damage that roof. Where most manufacturers use an 030 or an 040 thick aluminum sheet, it'll bend it up and look like a golf ball with their little dimples. But our roof, hail bounces off of it. You don't have to worry about insurance claims and keep them rolling.
Yeah, the thinnest piece of metal on an aluminum trailer is the roof, and Cimarron doesn't have that.
I can't tell you enough that I'm not a rookie up here coming to my first national finals, getting in with people that just want my first option. I've been able to try everything, see everything, and been fortunate enough that my career has afforded me the chance to be able to work with who I want to work with, not with the first person that asked me if I would be a partner with them. And so these guys, I chose them for this reason, because my Outlaw, when I finally set up camp somewhere, I'm tired. I want it to work. That's why I do that. The roof lines that you're talking about, that's the stuff you can't see on some of these trailers out here to the general public. So, like I say, if you follow anything I do, I'm telling you, I take the trailers and the interiors seriously.
And when we designed the 8-horse, we were there the day you loaded it the first time, because I'm not saying you're particular, but you know what you like. And we were a little nervous when we loaded it up, but I mean, we drew it out and tried to give you everything you wanted, and Ben was there that day, and I know people think that's just because of you, but Ben may not get to be there every day, but if we get pictures the minute somebody picks up their trailer, I mean, I send Ben pictures all the time and go, does this look right? Is this where we need to be? And he can either tell me, we might have missed that, or he'll tell me we got it right, and that day it feels like your rear attack on that 8-horse, we got it right.
And I'm never gonna kick another brand. This is a great industry, and they all try hard to do everything. But I know when I pulled up at that first show with that new 8-horse, and I was unloading everything, I had some guys coming around there that were pulling other brands that had the struggle, we need this many horses, but we can't fit that stuff. I'm like, I pull open my doors and be like, oh, this stuff, it was because they do such a good job that I'm able to, puff out my chest and act like I designed it, but man, it works.
I think it's listening to the customers and caring about how you're going to use it and getting it right. And if we miss the mark, we'll make it right. But it was fun to design that rear tack. I remember getting a picture from Trevor. I think you're out in Amarillo, maybe at that turn there. When I was smiling, he had it all loaded up and looked awesome.
Yeah, so, man, we've been in this industry a long time, and like you said, you can pick anybody, and we're glad you're our hometown cowboy. We love having you in our corporate office there, close to Decatur. But the difference in the brands you chose to go with, and us as a dealership, and my dad over the years, has been, the service. The service is what makes the difference. And John, you've lived in them long enough to know, John mentioned a while ago, 90% of the time when you called John, it was more of a, hey, this happened and I've already fixed it. which is great from a customer standpoint, from John's standpoint, because a lot of times we have customers wanting to try, and we can help a lot of people if they got a little bit of try.
Trevor troubleshot it, fixed it, and then just told us to send him the part. He's pretty amazing.
You better be fast before, or he'll send a mobile unit out there, and that's the thing. They take their service serious, and they know, they know what these things cost, and that's why I think it's so important that it not only looks nice. There's a lot of trailers that looks nice, but it's got to last. And you were talking about again what they do to the walls and the 3/4 inch thick wood that goes into it, because like those cabinets and everything in there takes a beat. It's going down good roads, bad roads, it goes down Oklahoma roads, it goes down all of it. So I mean, like it's gonna take a beating. It better be built right.
Talking about the roads and the miles, and your trailers have got air ride on them. And talk about the difference you're seeing in those trailers, in the horses when you get there, riding on the air ride suspension.
I didn't think I had to have air ride, because I've been pulling a lot of trailers for a long time that didn't have air ride, so I didn't know what I didn't know. And now that I've had the trailers with air ride, I thought it was super important when I was sleeping back there, because I would have it on my living quarters, because I might be sleeping going down the road, and it made a huge difference. But for me, I was sold on it, even on my 6 horses and my 8 horses, when you can forget to turn it on, and you can tell when you pull off if your air ride's on or not. That's when I know that's one of those boxes that I have to have checked on my trailer, because if I can feel it from the driver's seat, I know my horses are feeling it.
Yeah, and the air ride's made a huge difference on the living quarters as well. I mean, because so many 100 rodeos a year is hard on living quarters, and then the air ride really kept the life of our living quarters together. It made a huge difference.
Yeah. People don't realize how much torque's in the front of that and those cabinets. I mean, you've done a ton of stuff to help your cabinets stay together longer than anybody's. I mean, I've seen 15-year-old Outlaws, and they look just as good. The cabinet work is awesome still in them, and it's because of what you've done. But man, that air ride's just got to help.
It's helped, and we were up here the day interviewing Riley and Josie, and walking back, Josie's dad, Jade, said, the road is harder on the horses than the runs. And anytime we can make that road easier on the horses with that air ride, it's made such a difference taking care of those horses.
Yeah, and that's the key there, what that looks like. And so, man, you're all professionals, and we're gonna get lighthearted right here. And you chase basketball games, and we're not getting any younger, Trevor. And staying skinny.
When you said I was your hero, I thought you were older than me from the start.
Oh my gosh, yeah. He was, yeah, you're an old man up here. How gray's your beard? That's why we got to keep it trim. So you go to basketball games, you travel with your kids and all of that. What's the go-to thing you should eat? Because I know you're good, because I saw Miles and Tristan last night had ice cream and you didn't have any. Either you ate yours so fast, or you made a wise choice.
I was probably the only one that was too full to eat ice cream. Truth be known.
All right, what's the go-to thing we shouldn't eat that you got?
I wish I was better at it. Nothing's off limits in Vegas.
Just out here.
But you spoke of the basketball games we go to. When you come in the south entrance right there, you can see Stetson Wright's Bandit. What year is that Bandit?
That's an 01.
He's in an 01 Bandit. And I don't know if it's out there or not, but if he wants me telling him that, I'm going to get something like that built just for basketball games, because there's so many of those things. Like, my lifestyle is so crazy right now. I want to be able to go to a high school rodeo in the same rig that I'm going to the basketball games in the night before. I can just hook up to my 2 or 3 horse bumper pull and one of those Bandits and go to the high school rodeo or wherever I need to go to, and then show up at a basketball tournament, and when it's all day, I can get out there and relax.
He's got one bought. I don't know if you can afford it to tuck it out of it right now. He's got one, he's redoing. He bought another one. All right, John. You go fast. John Walker has lots of meetings, and he goes fast, and that's why his company runs the way it runs, and you like to go fast. I don't know that we've relaxed and had dinner out here, but I don't know that you do anything outside of work.
No, I don't. No, not much.
You don't. All right, so let's go with favorite Do you watch TV at all?
A little bit. Cowboy Channel.
Cowboy Channel.
That's it.
There you go. All right. So, favorite show you like to watch?
I just watch the rodeos on the Cowboy Channel. That's what I follow.
I just
That's
watch.
my
Did you watch the 6'8" documentary? He had so much to do with that. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it goes through, you know, that night that everything changed. That was awesome. But what was as interesting to me as that is when Trent Walls took you through and got you to see behind the scenes of Outlaw. I mean, because Trent, myself, and people from that era saw John start from Paducah, Texas. Like, this didn't happen overnight. He didn't come in and check out this industry. Like, he started the living quarter industry. Like, the first one that we had ever heard of back then was John Walker.
I was looking. I started with the right guys: Trent, Charmaine, Brent Lewis was like my 6th trailer I ever built. Joe Beaver, a lot of guys. So yeah, it's a great documentary. You need to check it out. It's really good. It was a great night, 1997. Unbelievable.
I watched it.
I watched it from
just
junior
a kid.
college, just so y'all know.
I was still in diapers, I think. When it happened. Got it. All right. Well, then, if you don't watch TV, just the Cowboy Channel, what do you do when you're not working? What do you do to relax?
You know, I go home a lot. My parents live back in Paducah. We still have our ranch out there and farm. Still spend a lot of time out there. Like to go hunt and do things back home. And then, you know, I own another company called Emerald Luxury Coaches, and it's all about travel. So I do a ton of traveling. Travel all over the country. We sell our motor homes to a very specific group in the world, the 1%ers of 1% that can buy those type of motor homes. Those motor homes are north of $2 million, so I'm very lucky to get to build those. So that's really what I like to spend my other time doing in that industry.
What other interior company can say that they build $2 million coaches? That's another reason why I'm like, I know he can handle my stuff if he can do those coaches, because I've been inside of them. It's not out of the same shop, but they have the same knowledge. It's awesome, and that's one of the things I wish we touched on, and I'm glad he did. That says a lot right there.
Yeah, that's a different world, different sales cycle, different salesperson. We have one, I think we talked about it going upstairs. It's a green room for a stage. It leaves here, and that salesman will stay 3 months. They'll rent a spot, it'll park there. They have like a one bedroom little hut there that the salesman stays in, and then they just play golf with people. They play golf with people and top coaches, and then eventually they sell them to them. Like, it's a whole different world.
Yeah, it is, but you know, I have to give credit to Trevor and Trent, the guys that rodeoed when I first started, because we had to really learn to build living quarters to stay together. And I think that's what helped us in the coach business, because, you know, we built, say, 20 entertainer coaches, and these are high-profile entertainers that travel a ton. They're on the road every day all over the country, and to keep those coaches rolling, we learned how to put things together from the rodeo world, because nobody's harder on the equipment than the rodeo guys. I guarantee you. I don't care. I've seen about NASCAR, celebrities, whatever, but if Trevor does 120 rodeos a year, you're going to be putting it back together if you're not careful.
He does tear stuff. I think he said you people. You people in general. That was a general statement. All right, Ben. You've got a family, a daughter and a son, and you're kind of at a similar stage of life as me, somewhat empty nesting. And what does Ben Jansen, president of Cimarron Trailers, do for fun?
Oh, for fun, it's usually getting outside the office, get horseback, get outside in the barn, or work at my shop. Jody and I, yeah, it's a little different. The schedule's opened up now. Both kids are in college, but we're adjusted, working on more projects and getting to travel a little bit, and trying to get the horseback more often for sure.
And that's fun. Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time, hanging out. Appreciate y'all stopping by to watch. We're going to have Trevor sign a few autographs for a couple of minutes right over there in front of that 2-horse. If you haven't seen it, been upstairs, we have the largest display of trailers here in Las Vegas. Booth 21703. There's 15 units up there. There's 2 lofts, 2 bathroom trailer. There's all sorts of stuff. You can see more Cimarrons there. Also, if you're hanging around the Patriot, I've got a 5-horse, 19-foot double entry floor plan. That's amazing. That's over there at the Horseman's Park where that's at, and they'll be over there hanging out. So we appreciate you guys hanging out. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to come join us on stage.
Thank you.
Thank you.